there is no better overall total package. Hands down, no one compares to what Senior Life offers. And there's things that are coming down the pipeline that are going to make a lot of people excited. It's going to make a lot of our competitors mad, but they could join us too. That's fine. They come work with us, but there's not a better overall package than we got going on. There's just not. If you want to win,
I totally agree.
The right vehicle, if someone like me can go from 0 to in under 8 years, get on pace to earning $1 million in 1 year.
Welcome, Senior Life family, to the All Fired Up podcast. My name is Will Voorhees, and I'm joined today by Doug Blake. Doug, how are we feeling today?
Fired up.
Heck yeah, man. So how we doing? This is our first kind of virtual podcast. I guess you're steady at work, huh?
Yeah, we're down here in sunny South Florida working, and everything's going really good, man. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man. Thanks for joining us. So, Doug, for anybody that's kind of not met you before, hasn't seen any previous videos, kind of just give a brief background of yourself and your group.
All right, man. Well, thanks for the opportunity. I grew up, I don't know how far back you want me to go, but I'll give you a little bit of my childhood background without going too crazy. But I grew up in New Jersey, met my wife in college. We moved down here to South Florida right after college, and I immediately got into business with her father, my father-in-law now. We were doing stuff in the real estate and mortgage business, and we were doing really, really well. I was very young, in my early 20s. I was making a lot of money, had the cars, had the homes, and the real estate market crashed. I'm sure everybody, I don't know if you're old enough to remember that, Will, but it crashed.
Yeah, I am.
And it crashed. And, I found myself just not really enjoying what I was doing anymore. I think that's a big, important part. And I don't know if maybe because the money wasn't flowing in anymore that I wasn't liking it, or I was just kind of falling out of love with it, but I really wasn't enjoying what I was doing anymore. And I was looking for something different. At the time, I was part of a networking group called BNI, kind of like a unique little setup. And one of the guys that I knew of in the mortgage business got into the insurance business, and he talked me into getting my license. Went to go do it. I was told it's just like doing a mortgage. You take an application, you submit it to underwriting, they approve it, and you get paid. And that's kind of how the same thing goes when I was doing mortgages and real estate, So yeah. I went to go get my insurance license, and the guy that was teaching the insurance class owned an insurance agency. I don't know if that's allowed, but that was the case. So naturally, I went to work for him. Right. I went to work for him because I'm like, you spend a couple of weekends or weeks with a guy and, well, what are you doing, man? You look successful and you seem to know everything. So let me come work for you. And at that time, I was trying to do everything. I wanted to do, health insurance, life insurance, homeowners insurance. I wanted to do it all. I thought I was, going to sit down with someone like you, Will, and do all of your insurance needs. I do everything. And what I found out real quickly is that doesn't work.
It's just, it's a lot to learn and a lot to manage, I'd assume as well.
Yeah, but more so it was, where do I find the people? That's what I struggled with the most,
Okay.
Is where the heck, I'm down here in Florida. I didn't grow up down here, so I didn't know anybody. I had a long-term relationship. I just know the few people I've met over a couple of years. So nothing crazy. I just didn't know where to go. And on top of that, you're starting out in a completely, totally different new space than what you've been doing for the last 4 and 5 years. And I struggled a lot. So while I was working for this guy, they're like, hey, Doug, we're kind of changing the way that we're going to be doing things. We're going to start working for this new company, and they have leads and they'll pay you the next day. I'm like, that's all I needed to hear. I didn't ask,
nice.
How much am I going to get paid or how much are the leads are. All I knew is that I had opportunities to talk to people that were interested in buying insurance, And if I sold them, I got paid basically immediately. So I went running on, and I started working with a company called Lincoln Heritage, and I worked with them for about 4 years. I've grown to be one of their, top producers over time with them, but I was stuck, man. I was stuck between a rock and a hard place. I was making a little bit of money, but nothing crazy at all by any means. And I wanted more, and Ron Powell over the years had, been reaching out to me, emails, letters, and stuff. And I'll never forget, me and Ron still talk about it to this day, was the old letter on the dash story. And I got a letter from Ron Powell, and it sat on the dash of my car for weeks, maybe months. I don't know, like forever. But it was the only one that I didn't throw away. Every other one I just discarded it. So, drip campaigns, they work, even if they're old school, right? With paper letters,
Right.
So it was sitting there forever, man. And one day I just got fed up. I opened the letter. I called him up. He didn't answer. I'm like, yeah, well, I don't even know why I thought he would answer the phone. Like Ron Powell, CEO of an insurance carrier. Like, why would he answer the phone for me? So I left a voicemail, went on my day. I don't know, maybe a half hour, an hour later, I get a phone call from this weird 229 area code, right?
Yes, sir. And the Thomasville one, sir.
The 229 number, man. My second home now. And I answered it. We got to talking. I was driving in circles around this apartment complex that I was about to go, door knocking, whatever. And I never made it to the apartments because me and Ron talked for a while. And we had made plans that over the next week or so, he was going to come on down to Florida and we were going to talk. And we did. We hit it off. Me and Ron have a really good relationship. I feel, we talk about a lot of things, in the workplace and out of the workplace. He's, a huge mentor of mine, but also over the years have became a huge friend of mine. Really look up to that man. And, we just hit it off from day one. And, I had already made the decision to come work for Senior Life before I even met with him. But man, really? He made it hard. I mean, he was asking me a lot of questions. Yeah, I asked my wife, I'm like, babe, I'm doing this because, everything that I always wanted in an opportunity, Senior Life had. But it was almost to the degree of being like too good to be true. If that
right.
Makes sense?
No, I'm on the marketing side of things, man. I hear it every day, but I mean, it's actually the opportunity. It's crazy. Just an agent. Agent-led company for the agents.
And it's just, again, too good to be true. And before I sat down with Ron, me and my wife, we already decided that I was doing it, but I couldn't, show my hand that quickly. I had to,
play it close to the chest. Yeah, I gotcha.
So we hit it off, and man, it's been the best thing that's ever happened to me and my family.
That's awesome, Doug.
Hands down.
That really is.
My life has changed completely. Since I met Ron and been part of Senior Life, I came over here by myself. This year in 2022, I'll probably make over $1 million. I almost did last year.
That is awesome.
And that's in 1 year. And that's just in really 7-8 years.
Yeah.
I mean, that's crazy. But
yeah, that's crazy to me. I mean, that's a big number.
Yeah, it's huge. I always knew that I wanted more out of life. I always knew I wanted to be the guy making all that money. And it never really dawned on me that I was even successful until one day I haven't much anymore lately. I've been kind of getting out of shape, but I do CrossFit. And someone mentioned to me when at the gym that I was like the rich guy at the gym. I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm the rich guy. I ain't the rich guy. Like when people started referring to me as the guy that's like really successful, making all the money, like it just never really dawned on me because I just like don't care about a lot of those things. Like I just go and go and go. Like Dave always gives me a hard time because I don't even look at the production numbers. I'm like, why do I need to? If I'm doing and we're all doing what we're supposed to do every day, that number is going to be just fine. It's going to be there.
And it's just going to keep going up and up and up from there.
Yeah, man. If you keep doing the same things every day that that you're supposed to be doing, success is going to happen. And I think that mentality is what got me through. I mean, if you ever ask Ron or Robert, about my ups and downs here at Senior Life, I mean, there's been a lot of them. There's been a lot of them.
Yeah. And that's really just life at that point.
No
But
doubt.
so, I mean, I guess it's safe to say that you're not stuck anymore, are you?
I am not stuck anymore. I'm stuck in a really high tax bracket. That's about it.
That's not a bad problem to have, you know, more money, more problems, as they say.
That's right.
But well, cool, man. So yeah, let's see. So you were telling me earlier, you're part of quite a bit of some of membership or some of our clubs here.
All of them.
Yeah, well, hey, run us through 'em, man. What have you done? What have you achieved here?
So I like challenges, you know. I like goals. I like to have stuff to shoot for. You know, I think it's vitally important to know where you're going. And that's a big reason why I even like this behind me, that back here. It's like you know exactly where you're going. You know, if you do this, you're going to get that. I like to know those things, you know? So I think the first big thing that I won wasn't a Senior Life incentive, right?
Okay.
It was a bunch of RVPs were sitting around the table one day. And you know, when you get a bunch of guys around the table and, you know, we all think that we're the best in the world. And it was about halfway through the year. About halfway through the year, and we all had a bet. Said, who's gonna be number one at the end of the year? And I said I was, and Rob said he was, and a few others at the time said they were going to, and all this stuff. So we said, let's go put our money where our mouth is. And everybody threw in $1,000. And I think there was 12 of us at that time.
Okay.
Well, at the end of the year, that 12 grand was mine. You know, so I got $1,000 from all the other regional vice presidents at the time because I was number one in production for that particular year. I want to say it was like 2016 or something like that, 17 maybe. Probably the one thing I'm most proud of is the Senior Life Stockholder Club. You know, I did that as early
Tell me
as
a little bit about that.
So I think, you know, as an adult and as a father, you always want to give to your kids what you didn't have, right? And I kind of look at Senior Life as that way because they wanted to own stock in a previous company that they were working with, and they wouldn't let them.
And they couldn't do it.
They couldn't do it. So when they started the Senior Life opportunity, they gave people like myself the opportunity to purchase stock in the company. Back when I did it, you had to be with the company at least 3 years, and it was a minimum investment of $50,000. So as soon as I was able to scrap together $50,001, I bought stock.
Yeah.
That was probably the biggest check that I've ever cut in my life up until that point for one thing, which was $50,000.
Pretty big check.
Pretty big check. And I did it without any hesitation whatsoever. And since then, my money has more than doubled. You know,
that's awesome. That's really cool.
Yeah, it's a great. I mean, I would tell anybody that's listening to this, if you're an agent with Senior Life, you need to get some Senior Life stock. You're a fool if you don't. You know.
Yeah, I mean, there's only more growth and growth to come. So.
Yeah. So we got that check. We got, what else we got? Millionaires Club. I was part of the.
So tell me about it.
Yeah, so I was part of the inaugural class. I don't know how you say that. I'm from Jersey. I graded my own papers in English in high school, so I was all right. You know, inaugural class for the Millionaires Club. And what's neat about that is it's anybody that has deposited, not made, because 1099 is one thing, but how much you're actually depositing in your account is a different story, right? So this is individuals that deposited over $1 million into your bank account career to date, right? So that's people that maybe took them 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, whatever. It doesn't make a difference how long it takes, but
they've put $1 million in their bank account from Senior Life. Yeah,
and I think that first class there was 10, 15, 20 of us. I forget. There was a good amount of us that did it, you know, and that's really special, man. My wife would get mad at me because I'd wear that jacket like to all the special occasions that we went to, and it's gold.
Man, if
it's
I had a
gaudy.
gold jacket,
Like,
yeah.
bro,
If I had it, if I had that jacket, I'd be wearing it to the gas station, man.
right? It's fun, man, and it's really neat because it's not about the $1 million. It is, but it's working with one company, and like we made that with one company, not 20,
Right.
not 30, but with one company. And I think that's the most important part of it, and all the success and stuff that came along with it over the years. And I've now been able to see other people, younger people, newer people in this business, like my man Dave Price, got his green jacket. I'm thinking the gold jacket, in 3 years, in just under 3
Yeah.
years, deposited over $1 million. I mean, that's phenomenal, but
That
that's
is
really
crazy.
special to me, that green jacket. No, I was going to say, just now to get to the point where, like, I got that green jacket for making career to date $1 million, but now to get to that point where I'm about to deposit $1 million into my bank account just this calendar year, I think
Right.
we should make another
It
jacket
sounds.
for that, maybe. I don't know.
No, that's what I'm saying. We need to make a new club. Oh man, I was
Yeah.
actually I was talking to David earlier today actually, and he had told me, he was like, man, I'd kind of known Doug, like, but like I didn't really know him like that, and I saw he was just making all this money, and he was offended. I don't know if he hit you up or if you hit him up, but he was like, man, I gotta come see how you're doing it. And then
Yeah.
I mean, under your wing, man, like he took off, like it's awesome to see the culture that you've kind of built, like with your groups.
Yeah.
And so, didn't you were just saying that you've hit a couple records lately, correct?
We did. So this particular month of March in this year, we're going to write more production than we've ever written before as a group. This also month of March, or February, I'm sorry, we're going to recruit more people than we ever recruited.
That's awesome.
So these are big record-breaking month that we had here. And what's neat about it is it's short month.
Yeah,
I can't wait
the
for next
28
month,
days.
the month of March, where there's kind of like 5 working weeks almost in it, and I know that next month we're gonna top it again. We got some great things happening over here at the Blake Group and Senior Life.
Awesome, man. Yeah. So kind of to anybody that's not in the insurance space, or okay, let's start with that one. Why should someone come sell insurance? Like, why should I get licensed?
Well, first, my initial response, knee jerk, is just why not? Right?
Right.
Like, even
Okay.
if you have a job and you're doing something else, like, why not? Why not have that as an opportunity to make some more money?
Yeah.
But what I will tell you is I never grew up wanting to be an insurance salesman. I did not. I probably wanted to be a firefighter or a police officer when I was a kid. I think there's only one person out there that grew up wanting to sell final expense life insurance for the rest of his life at a very young age, and his name's Ron Powell. And I think he's the only one that, and I say that with all due respect, but like, I didn't grow up that way, man. I grew up wanting the sexy things, right? And what we do is not really sexy, right? But my bank account is extremely sexy, But it's just one of the things, man. It's just like the last thing you would think of. But I would just say, like, why not? Why not give it a try? We have so many success stories of regular people that the last thing on their mind was selling life insurance, came over here, and are now making hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars. It's real.
Yeah, I mean, from what I've seen too, yeah.
You got to give it a shot. You got to give it a shot. Like, you deserve a shot at this. Everybody does. It's like Oprah. Like, you get a car. Everybody deserves a shot here.
Awesome. And then to the other end of that, to any kind of, because I talk to people on social media every day they've had trouble with other companies, this and that, not without training. What would you say to someone that's discouraged in selling life insurance. They haven't been getting the results they want to. Maybe they don't have the training, maybe they don't have the support, whatever reason. Do you have any kind of motivation or words of wisdom for these people?
Well, I mean, I think there's a lot of different types of struggles, but I think the best motivation I can give somebody is my success story, because at one time I was a unmotivated and struggling agent, and I found myself, and I'll use this little South Georgia race car stuff that I learned from Rom. It's like trying to win the Daytona 500 in a go-kart. It's never going to happen. And a big frustration for a lot of agents nowadays is they're in the wrong vehicle and they're trying to
I see what you're saying.
The big dogs, so you need to get yourself aligned with the right company, and the right company is Senior Life Insurance Company. There is no better overall. There is no better overall total package. Hands down, no one compares to what Senior Life offers. And there's things that are coming down the pipeline that are going to make a lot of people excited. It's going to make a lot of our competitors mad, but they could join us too. That's fine. They come work with us, but there's not a better overall package than we got going on. There's just not. If you want to win,
I totally agree.
The right vehicle, I mean, if someone like me can go from 0 to in under 8 years, get on pace to earning $1 million in 1 year. I mean,
it's just a no-brainer. It's just a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. Like, well, awesome, Doug. I mean, that was a really great conversation. Is there anybody you'd like to thank? Anybody you'd kind of like to say anything special to? The wife, kids, anything like that?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like, really, without my immediate support system of my immediate family, my wife, my children, my parents and my brother and everybody else that's like very, very close to me, my in-laws and everybody, I could never do what I do, because it really does. It takes a village. When you're early on in this business, you're wearing a lot of different hats. I'm a personal producer. I'm a recruiter. I'm a sales trainer. I'm a social media expert. I'm a manager. You're a father. You're a son. You're a neighbor. You're a nephew. You're in everything. And you need a lot of help. I missed a lot of dinners. I missed a lot of games. My first couple of years in the insurance business, and I think if you dig through some of your vault and files, my wife and Dave's fiance, Michelle, did a video where I think Kent interviewed them one time, and my wife refers it to as the dark years, because it was rough.
Oh, man.
And I went out and I wasn't home much. I got home late, that whole story. And if I didn't have her picking up the kids, making sure the kids do their work, getting to the games, and I couldn't do what I'm doing right now. So the biggest thanks goes to her in, keeping the family intact, because if you want to be successful, you need a support system. You need good people around you, but also in the business, I want everybody to understand that it's not me anymore. It's my team. Without them, without all the agents and everybody writing business every single day, I don't have a business, in Senior Life too. Without people like me and our little organizations, if we don't go out and we don't write business, if we don't hire nobody, then nothing gets done. You can't have fancy cameras to do podcasts if nobody writes no insurance. You know what I mean? So So without them, this doesn't exist. So huge shout out to every single person that's ever written a policy for the Blade Group and for Senior Life Insurance Company, because really without them, then we're nothing, but that's really all I'd like to thank, at this moment. A lot of great people we got working for us, man, and we got a lot of good things in store. I think that, I know that in the next 2 or 3 months, we're going to be number one at Senior Life. So, if Rob is listening to this, then you could just enjoy it while it lasts, I guess you could say.
Little friendly competition.
Yeah.
Is there a phone number, an email, any way somebody can get in contact with you if they want to? If so, first of all, we should say what areas are you in, Doug?
All the areas.
All the places. You're at everywhere
All
and
the areas.
anywhere.
All of them. I learned that from my good friend David Price. I said, David, how many leads do you want? He says, all of the leads. Dave, what do you all of them?
the
Okay, so
leads.
now my answer to that, we're in all the areas. All the areas. That's it. If you wake up in the morning and the sun comes out, that's where we're at. Everywhere.
Awesome. So yeah, Doug, what would be a good contact info for people to get plugged in with you?
Just my cell is 954-317-8072.
Awesome. Doug, man, it was amazing. And yeah, I just want to thank everybody for tuning in. Go like, comment, and subscribe to our channel. And go give Doug a shout if you're really serious about making money this year. Doug, I'm going to ask you one more good time, man. How we feeling?
Fired up.